The last signature was barely dry when the lawyer placed a small audio recorder on the oak table.
There is a second tape. Your grandfather left a recording to be played under certain conditions.
So he really did plan for everything, just as he promised.
What are you talking about? We already divided the estate.
This is highly irregular. We signed fair and square.
The lawyer ignored the protests, pressing a button. A tiny red light flickered on the recorder.
The will contained a provision. If the estate was divided before March 1st, this recording must be heard.
March 1st? Nobody told us about a deadline. This is a trick.
Let it play, Robert. We should hear what Grandpa wanted to say.
The room fell into a thick silence. Only Elizabeth looked ready for what came next. 3 hours earlier, the same office held no tension, only anticipation. The family gathered, eager for the reading.
To my son Robert, I leave the family business, Harton and Sons, along with all its assets and property.
Finally, the old man came through. This was long overdue.
To my daughter Catherine, I leave the investment portfolio and the coastal property in Marbella.
A sensible allocation. The Marbella property has excellent upside.
To my granddaughter Elizabeth, I leave my father's silver pocket watch, a token of reverence for the past.
A watch. He gives me a watch while they divide everything he built.
Let's not dawdle. Hand over the papers. I have a meeting in an hour.
Yes, this formality has gone on long enough. Elizabeth, you are fine with this, aren't you?
Elizabeth said nothing. She simply nodded, and 3 pens hovered over the dotted lines, 3 signatures that would soon prove more costly than anyone knew. Robert scrawled his signature with a flourish, barely glancing at the fine print. Catherine added her name in sharp, precise strokes, then slid the document aside.
A silver watch. They get empires. He wanted to leave me nothing. This doesn't feel right. Why would Grandpa leave me a pocket watch while you both take everything he built?
Don't start with that, Elizabeth. You should just be grateful you got anything at all.
We are family. This is what's best for the estate. Stop holding things up over sentiment.
Elizabeth picked up the pen. Her hand was steady, but her jaw was clenched tight as she signed. The lawyer collected the signed pages, aligning them with deliberate care.
Now there is an additional condition set forth in the will. Please remain seated.
Robert's confident smile flickered and died. Catherine's pen clattered onto the oak table.
The will contains a time-locked provision. Since you all signed today, February 28th, a second recording must now be played.
You never mentioned a date. This is a setup.
The clause was in the original document you just signed. I am obligated to enforce it.
Let me see that. There's no such clause.
The lawyer calmly turned the page and pointed to a highlighted paragraph.
It is binding. Now, please listen to the recording.
His hand rested on the play button, a warning that no interruption would be tolerated.
He knew. Grandpa knew they would rush to grab before the month was out.
Robert lunged, but the lawyer's arm shot out, blocking him with surprising strength. The room went silent. The recorder's red light blinked, waiting. The lawyer pressed play. The reels began to turn with a low mechanical hum. Robert lunged forward, but the lawyer's arm shot out and blocked him cold.
Robert, stop it. This is exactly what he wanted us to do.
One more outburst, and I will have security remove you from this office.
Let it play, Robert. We all signed, so we all listen.
Robert slumped back, chest heaving, the fight drained from his shoulders. From the recorder, a low hiss gave way to a voice, frail but unmistakable.
My dear family, if you are hearing this, it means you rushed to divide my estate before the 1st of March.
Catherine's hand flew to her mouth. Robert's face drained to a sickly white.
I knew your hearts. That is why I created this test. I loved each of you, but love is not blind. I saw how you treated what I built, and it grieved me.
This is absurd. He was losing his mind at the end.
Then, why is Elizabeth so calm? Look at her. She knew this was coming.
Elizabeth's eyes closed. A slow breath steadied the small storm inside her chest.
The will you just signed is not the final word. A separate codicil governs what really happens.
The lawyer sat motionless, his hands folded, his gaze fixed on the spinning reels.
A codicil. You can't just change the rules after we've already signed.
Elizabeth, you knew about this, didn't you? Admit it. You've been waiting to gloat.
Gloat. Number. But I promised him I would stay silent until he was heard.
The tape hissed, and Grandpa's voice returned, each syllable heavy with the gravity of a final judgment.
I needed to know who valued money over family, so I made the will cruel by design.
Catherine's pen slipped from her fingers and landed with a hollow click on the wood.
A test? This is manipulation from beyond the grave. He was a bitter old man.
Those who rushed to claim their inheritance have shown me who they truly are.
He warned me this day would come. I just didn't know it would cut this deep.
The lawyer's face remained unreadable, but behind his glasses, his eyes held a glint of grim satisfaction.
And for those who grabbed, there will be nothing. The codicil will confirm this in writing.
Nothing. You can't do this. Elizabeth, say something. Stop this madness.
The tape is his voice. I will not interrupt it.
Robert's hands gripped the edge of the table, his knuckles white as if he could splinter the wood with sheer fury.
This codicil will now be read. It is my true last testament, witnessed and sealed.
The lawyer pressed stop. The reels halted with a sharp click, and the room felt suddenly hollow.
This codicil, sealed and witnessed, was to remain unopened unless this recording was played.
Open it then. Let's see what more of this charade you've concocted.
The lawyer broke the red wax seal with deliberate slowness, the crack echoing in the dead air.
Wait, you can't just introduce a new document. This is unprecedented.
It is entirely precedented. A codicil is a legally binding addition to a will, and it has been properly executed.
This is it. This is what he whispered to me that last Sunday when no one else was there.
Read it then. But if this is another trick, I'll have your license.
The envelope opened with a dry whisper. A single sheet of crisp parchment slid out, bearing only a few lines.
Pursuant to the codicil, any person who signed the estate division before March 1st is disinherited entirely. All assets, including the house, the business, and the financial accounts, shall pass solely to Elizabeth Hart.
Impossible. He was manipulated. This is a fraud.
This can't be legal. You can't just cut us out after we signed.
He kept his word. Every detail, just as he promised that last Sunday.
You turned him against us. You whispered poison in his ear for years.
She's been waiting for this moment, the smug little traitor.
The room snapped into a tableau of shock, every eye locked on Elizabeth's composed face.
I did not whisper. I visited. I listened. I never once asked for a dime.
A guttural roar tore from Robert's throat as he lunged, but the lawyer's arm blocked him, parchment held high.
The date was a trick. We were never informed. This entire charade is unenforceable.
The date was typed in bold on the document you signed. The codicil is witnessed and legally sound.
Sound? It's vindictive. He's laughing at us from the grave.
He is vindicated, not laughing. I just wish they could see it.
The codicil fulfills the test Mr. Hart described. Any challenge will fail under probate law.
He reached for the recorder and pressed play. The reels turned again.
My children, I loved you, but I knew your greed would be your undoing. I had to protect what I built.
Robert's head dropped into his hands, shoulders heaving once before he went still. Catherine's sobs filled the silence, but no one moved to comfort her. The tape hissed on, ready to deliver the final clause of a judgment they never saw coming.
Elizabeth, you were the one who held my hand when I was sick. You never asked for money, only for my stories and my time.
Elizabeth's eyes glistened, but she kept her composure, a small tremble only visible in her folded hands.
Miss Hart, according to the codicil, you are the sole heir to the Edwin Hart estate. Do you understand this?
You can't let her just take everything. This is robbery, pure and simple.
Elizabeth, please. We are still your family. Don't do this to us. We can share it.
They are my family. but they never saw Grandpa as more than a bank. And now they want to share what they tried to steal.
She gave a slow, deliberate nod, but no words left her lips. The silence in the room was heavier than any speech.
If you formally accept, the transfer will begin immediately. There is no legal reason to delay.
If I accept, it's over for them. But if I don't, Grandpa's last wish remains unfulfilled.
The tape resumed, Grandpa's voice now quieter, almost a whisper, as if he were speaking only to her.
You turned him against us. This whole thing was your doing, wasn't it?
I did nothing but be present. While you were measuring his estate, I was reading his favorite books aloud.
Robert's raised hand froze in midair. The insult died on his lips.
We only wanted to secure our future, Elizabeth. We're not monsters.
When was the last time you visited him without asking for money? Can either of you answer that?
Catherine's mouth worked, but no words came. The truth was too stark to argue.
We had responsibilities. We couldn't just drop everything to sit by his bed.
Responsibilities? You mean the business you ran into the ground, the loans you took from him and never repaid.
The silence that followed was absolute. For a long moment, only the recorder's hum filled the room.
I am going to honor his last wish, and I won't apologize for being the one who actually loved him.
Miss Hart's acceptance is the final legal step. The disinheritance is now irrevocable under probate law.
Show me the date again. I want to see it with my own eyes.
The lawyer turned the document and tapped a finger on the notarized date, February 28th.
So that's it. We signed our lives away because we trusted him.
Please proceed, Mr. Whitfield. I want the transfer finalized today.
Very well. The title transfer and asset filings will be processed immediately.
Robert sank deeper into his chair. The last embers of resistance extinguished from his posture. Catherine's sobs quieted into a low, keening whimper, her mascara tracing dark rivulets down her cheeks.
This is what he wanted. Not revenge, but justice. And somehow, I am the one who must carry it.
The lawyer pulled a thick folder from his case, embossed Estate of Edwin Hart, and began to write. Catherine lunged forward, her nails scratching across her own signature as if to tear it from the paper.
That will do nothing, Mrs. Hart. The document is legally filed. Destruction of this copy is meaningless.
I'll sue. I'll tie this up in court for years. You'll regret this, Elizabeth.
Threats are futile. The trust is irrevocable, and the codicil is sound. Any challenge will only compound your costs.
They are still fighting, still refusing to see that their greed is the only enemy.
The lawyer ignored the outbursts, placing a crisp new document on the table, the acceptance of sole heir. He extended a fountain pen toward Elizabeth, its gold nib catching the amber light.
This pen has written away their future, and with one stroke it will seal mine.
The room held its breath. The only sound was the distant tick of a clock and the soft rustle of old paper.
Where do I sign?
Right at the bottom, Miss Hart. That will initiate the transfer.
Elizabeth held the pen steady above the line, her hand as still as the air before a storm.
Grandpa used to tell me stories about how he built the business. He said he made it so his family could have roots.
Spare us the nostalgia. You've already won. Gloat silently.
Won. I was the one who held his hand when he cried over you, Robert, because you only called when you needed a loan.
You planned this from the start, didn't you? You manipulated a dying man.
You wrote your own disinheritance. I just waited, like he asked. The only thing I ever asked him for was his time. They still can't grasp that love isn't measured in zeros on a check.
Her eyes lifted from the document, and for the first time, they held nothing but pity. With a slow, measured motion, she brought the pen down, the nib hovering a breath above the signature line.
Elizabeth, please. I'll sign over my half of the Marbella property. Just tear up that paper.
Catherine, I promised Grandpa I would keep his estate whole, not parcel it out like a garage sale.
The pen touched the page. The scratch was barely more than a whisper, but it sliced through the air like a verdict.
The acceptance is witnessed. The codicil now supersedes all prior documents.
He pressed a red seal into the wax, the emblem of the estate burning bright for a moment before cooling. Catherine's sob was a raw, jagged sound, her composure shattered beyond repair. Robert turned his face to the wood-paneled wall, his fists balled, the last fight gone from his frame.
It's done, and I don't feel what I expected. Not joy, not even justice. Just a heavy, hollow ache.
The estate transfers are effective immediately. I will file the codicil with the county this afternoon.
Elizabeth picked up the codicil, her name the only one on its lines. The ink was dry, but the weight of it was only beginning to sink in. Robert's head remained bowed, his shoulders slumped in a portrait of utter defeat. Catherine's sobs subsided into ragged, hitching breaths, her mascara streaked like dark war paint. The distance between them and Elizabeth had never felt so absolute, so unbridgeable. The lawyer reached for the recorder and pressed a button, pausing the tape with a soft, definitive click.
Before we conclude the recording, I will file the transfer documents. The estate is now officially yours, Miss Hart.
Elizabeth's expression didn't change, but a quiet, aching acknowledgement flickered in her eyes.
Yours. Everything is yours, and we have nothing.
Robert said nothing, just stared at his own hands, the hands that had signed away his inheritance.
The filing will be complete within the hour. There is no going back.
The finality of the statement settled over the room like a cold, heavy shroud.
The family home, the business, all financial accounts, and the investment portfolio now belongs solely to you, Miss Hart.
All of it. A lifetime of work. Now resting in my name alone.
As for you, Mr. and Mrs. Hart, the will you signed is void. You receive nothing from the estate.
Robert stared at the signed document before him, the page that had promised him an empire now worth less than ash. Catherine's fingers opened, letting the paper slip. It drifted to the floor without a sound.
They wanted everything, and now they have nothing. Not even the watch I was given.
The lawyer slid a thick manila envelope across the table. The weight of it left a soft scrape on the oak. Elizabeth took it, her fingers closing around the thick bundle of legal power as if it were something fragile.
The transfer is complete. You legally own everything your grandfather built.
She nodded once, her throat too tight for words, and held the envelope against her chest. The lawyer wound the tape forward, the reels spinning until he found the final section, then pressed play one last time.
Elizabeth, my faithful granddaughter, hear my last words. You were the one who truly loved me, not for what you could gain, but simply because you were there.
Elizabeth's composure finally wavered as a single tear slipped down her cheek.
I leave you everything I built, not because you asked, but because your love was the only thing I never had to doubt.
Robert turned his face to the wall, unable to bear the sight of her receiving a blessing he never earned. Catherine buried her face in her hands, the weight of her greed now a physical force pressing her into the chair.
Take care of it. It took care of me. That is all I ask, my child.
The tape clicked as it reached the end, the finality of a judgment they never saw coming, sinking into bone.
I will, Grandpa, I promise.
The lawyer removed the cassette and placed it into his briefcase, the lid closing with a soft click. In the sudden silence, the absence of his voice felt louder than any accusation.
Thank you, Mr. Whitfield.
It was your grandfather's design. I only fulfilled his wishes.
He placed a key ring on the table, a small heart charm catching the amber light. Elizabeth took the keys, their cold weight grounding her, and slipped them into her pocket. She rose, smoothing the front of her blouse, and stood for a moment in the warm, still light. Robert and Catherine remained frozen, their eyes empty, their hands motionless on the table. She moved to the door, pausing on the threshold as if crossing it would make the finality real. Her hand gripped the brass handle, but she did not look back. She already knew what she would find. She pulled the door open, and a shaft of bright hallway light cut across the dark wood floor. Behind her, Catherine half rose, her mouth shaping a word that never came.
Don't go.
Elizabeth paused on the threshold, one hand still on the doorframe, and for a heartbeat she looked back. Her gaze swept over them, Robert slumped and broken, Catherine with her mascara-streaked face, and held no anger, only a quiet, unshakable finality.
Goodbye, Robert. Goodbye, Catherine. I loved you both, but I will not let your greed touch what he built.
Then she stepped forward, and the light swallowed her silhouette. The door closed with a soft but definite click, and the office fell into a dense, haunted silence. Catherine's hand dropped to her side. Robert stared at the closed door, his face a mask of disbelief. They were still sitting there, motionless, when the county recorder stamped the filing that made their loss eternal. She walked down the silent hallway, the late sun cutting long rectangles across the wood-paneled walls. She stopped at the end, beside a tall window, and let the warm light touch her face. From her purse, she pulled out a small, creased photograph of her grandfather, his eyes crinkled in a gentle smile. She stared at his face, and for the first time all afternoon, a true, serene smile touched her lips.
I kept my promise. It's done. Rest now.
She kissed the photograph gently, then tucked it away next to the keys of her new home. She pushed through the heavy door and stepped into the brilliant afternoon, her silhouette dissolving into the golden light. They failed a test they never knew they were taking, and in the end, greed wrote its own punishment, fade to black.